What's happening, guys? This is the Is This Football podcast?
Is it football, though? Is it football?
My name's Dan. I'm joined here now by my good and loyal friend, Edward Doyle.
Hello.
This is just two guys having a good time, talking a little bit about sports, something we don't know a whole
we don't
lot
know an awful
about,
lot.
but just enough to talk about.
And it's the pilot episode as well, so please be patient with our lack of knowledge in many areas.
Be gentle.
Thank you,
Be
guys.
gentle with us. Thank you for watching. This is an extension of Tiger Cage Media. I'm sorry, we didn't do the Tiger Roar. Joined here by our other lovely friend, Remdog Breechak. I don't know,
What's
you
up,
can't see him in the YouTube,
Lovely boy.
but
Lovely boy.
he's the one actually doing the work here. I don't know if you thought that the two good-looking guys sitting here were just
One
the
good-looking.
ones that
There's
were
one
just
good
making this happen. But no, it's more or less Remy. But like I said, basically, this is just me and my good friend Edward, and we're just going to be talking a little bit about sports. Edward, do you want to give him just a little bit of an intro to you? I don't know, just...
Yeah, I mean, football is going to be, and when I say football, it's going to be NFL, but we're going to mix in some English football as well. Mainly Premier League, Champions League, stuff like that. I do know a little bit about the NFL. I wouldn't confess that I know an awful lot, but I was raised with it by my dad, so I have a little. The accent may fool you a bit, but I know a little bit.
If you guys couldn't tell, he's not from America. I don't know if that was super difficult to discern right from hearing his accent. He is from
Crew York. Big up Crew
originally
York.
London, though, correct?
Yeah, originally London, but I'm from the north, really.
From
so,
the
yeah.
He doesn't like admitting that he's from London, but is this football with a little bit of a question mark influx, just because we're going to be talking about a lot about NFL football, because right now this is like the prime time for NFL football. We just got out of a nice heated wild card weekend. We're going into another heavy divisional round.
Weekend.
We will also be talking about English/European football, hockey, basketball. We're going to get a little bit of UFC,
mix of sports.
little bit of everything. But for tonight, we're going to be mainly focusing on the NFL.
Yeah, the wild card weekend and the divisional matchups to come this coming weekend.
And I guess we could just jump right into it. First game that me and you actually watched at the Galley,
together.
our nice little spot, Bengals Raiders.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think of all the games, it was probably the most fun to
It was a good
watch.
game.
There was a couple games that just weren't fun at all to watch because they were
As
blowouts.
a neutral, yeah. I mean, we both had it pegged as probably the best neutral game, just because both teams were decently hot coming in, especially the Raiders off of that crazy play-in game with LA. And I know you're a huge Joe Burrow fan. And
I mean,
Burrow
who isn't?
No, Burrow is great. Burrow's great, and to me, coming into the NFL, their rookie year, I liked Herbert better than Burrow in his rookie year, but you've started to win me over with how good Joe Burrow is, and he's definitely proven it now.
I mean, I feel like Justin Herbert is like, when you look at him, he's like the prototype. Like, if you were going to design a quarterback, he's
Definitely.
6'6". He's not super athletic. He can run. He's got a cannon of an
all the
arm.
throws, definitely.
He's like obviously coming out of college, pro-style quarterback, just can make all the throws and all that. But when Joe Burrow, I've told you this before, when Joe Burrow first got drafted, he played, I want to say it was like 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and then had that terrible...
I think his knee injury
It just absolutely destroyed his knee because they overworked him. But the first couple games, I remember seeing in just enough of him to be like, dude, this guy's going to be good.
No, Burrow is good, and you know what? That team is loaded too. Like I think in a lot of areas, and I mentioned just before we started the podcast, the 8 teams left. I wouldn't be shocked if any of them went all the way from here. There's a lot of good teams left, but I thought Cincinnati should have been favorites to beat the Raiders, and they did beat them, and I think it goes more than Burrow as well. You've got Jamar Chase
were
there.
they the favorites?
They were the favorites to beat the Raiders.
They were really?
They were the
Okay.
favorites. It wasn't a huge spread. It was minus. They were minus 5.5.
They were relatively
And you get
they were relatively like well balanced.
You get 3
but-
for being at home.
Yeah.
So 2.5. The matchmakers gave him 2.5.
Yeah.
And then you've
Derek
got
Carr was hot though.
Derek Carr's a good.
He
Derek
had
Carr's
that
a good
hot
player,
hand
but
coming off that Chargers game, man.
I don't think that I don't think that the Vegas Raiders are as well-rounded. I don't think the Vegas Raiders are as well-rounded as the Bengals are.
Yeah.
You can see, I mean, and going into the next round, the Bengals going into Tennessee.
Josh
that's gonna be a good
Jacobs,
game.
though.
Josh Jacobs is a good
I
running
thought
back.
he was going to be
Wait.
the difference maker in that.
Josh Jacobs, Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Yeah, that's the one.
No,
exactly.
Remy knows his
You
football.
nailed it.
Remy knows his
If you,
football.
if you
I
didn't
know
ga-
football.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
didn't gather it from that, Remy knows just enough
Just
about
a touch.
football. We'll pepper him in here
he'll
and
be-
there, but
he'll be involved.
that was the one deciding factor that I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but Joe Mixon did make the Pro Bowl. Joe Mixon's a good running back, but Josh Jacobs, I know me and you are both on the same page with that. We both rate him.
I like Josh
very
Jacobs
high.
a lot. I like Josh Jacobs a lot. But while we're talking running backs, we should talk about the Bengals going into Tennessee this weekend. I forget whether it's the Saturday or Sunday game. I'm guessing it's the Saturday game because I know the Bills play Sunday. That's the other AFC game.
Yeah.
So they'll be playing Saturday, and I think they're the matchmakers are calling it an even coin flip based on talent. They've given Tennessee 3.5. They've given Cincy 3.5 going into Tennessee, basically calling the teams even, and I think that's fair enough with how hot Cincinnati is right now.
Yeah,
They-
you know what it comes down to, right?
It comes down to
You know
something we spoke-
exactly
yeah,
what it comes
down-
out. What is what is going to make the difference in this game, Eddie? Please
Derrick
let them
Henry.
know.
Derrick Henry's gonna make a
Derrick
difference, but
fucking
go ahead,
Henry.
go ahead. Dan knows about football. He does, but Dan tried to
bit.
tell me, and listen, I won't argue that Derrick Henry is the best running back in the NFL. That's inarguable.
Easily.
That's inarguable.
Best
JT had a
player
good year.
in the
Jonathan
NFL.
Taylor had a good year, but Dan's trying to tell, and maybe the best player at his position, but he is not as important as 10 other players to their team. 10 other, and they're all quarterbacks. I mean, there's
No. Quarterbacks do have more input and say into the success of their team just based on how much they touch the ball, their
Right.
just their game management. But I was thinking about a good analogy. The Jacksonville Jaguars are probably the worst team in the NFL.
right.
Is that okay?
I mean, they're bottom 5.
But we'll just say they're the
Yeah.
worst team in the NFL. So if you took the Jacksonville Jaguars,
Colts might argue.
Jacksonville Jaguars, yeah, and so the Bills.
Yeah.
So the Bills, to be fair. So yeah, quiet down.
Pipe down.
So are the Bills. But if you took the Jacksonville Jaguars and you took Trevor Lawrence, replaced him with Josh Allen, how good would they be versus keeping Trevor Lawrence and having them with Derrick Henry? I am
Wait,
saying
hold on. Wait, Tennessee or
no. Like if you took Derrick Henry and Josh Allen
and put each player onto the Jacksonville
and you
Jaguars.
put Josh Allen onto the Jacksonville Jaguars and saw their success then versus taking, I guarantee
I
you,
think the Jags are
Derrick
a-
Henry would make that team better than Josh Allen.
That's
would.
the worst take.
He would take them.
Right, we
he would.
are- okay.
A running back like that would absolutely.
We're 5
that's
minutes
all
into the
you
pod, and we've got the
need.
worst possible take that
No,
we could. That we're
Josh
gonna have.
Allen's
That
a
we're
great
gonna have.
quarterback, but he has
Josh
a good
Allen-
team around him.
Oh wow. Okay. Right.
He's a great quarterback.
We're 5 minutes in, and we've got the
he's
worst possible
top-
take so
he's-
far.
he's one
Allen
of
would
the
make
top
Allen
players
would
in the
make the
league.
Jags an 8-win team, maybe a 10-win team. Allen could easily.
Henry take them to the
wouldn't
playoffs.
take them to playoffs. He wouldn't, because all you have to do is put 8 guys at the line of scrimmage,
And
you
he'll
can shut
run
them
over
down.
all of them.
No, I don't. That's a bad take.
I don't know, man.
That's a bad take.
I just think for me, Derrick Henry is just one of those
Think about-
revolutionary players. You don't see
I
like.
mean, so is Allen. So is Allen. Allen is a generational
Would
talent.
you
to the
take
position.
Allen over Patrick Mahomes?
That's not a fair question for me because I'm a big Bills fan.
Well,
and I
no,
love
but it's
Josh
just
Allen.
fair to say that Derrick Henry is unarguably the best at his position. And
He is, but
potentially
it's
the best
also a
in the
position. But it's
league.
also a position that's has nowhere near as much impact on the game. So if
I
we,
mean, a wildly good running back like that, I feel like I feel like quarterback's good. You need a good quarterback. You can have a game manager quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a Kirk Cousins in there, and with a Derrick Henry style player as the running back, you could like the possibilities are endless.
with a great quarterback like
You
Allen,
have a- you
like
have
Allen or
a
Mahomes.
shit team.
Allen and
with-
Mahomes both have very good supporting
But
cast.
I
but they're
feel like
both,
the same way.
I
Like,
mean, okay,
if you have a
this is another
terrible
good one.
team-
Aaron Rodgers is
Yeah.
outstanding, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, walking Hall of Famer. Other than Devontae Adams,
out
they
to
have
Caleb.
Yep, shout out to Caleb. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
But they have other than their offensive line and Devontae Adams, they've not got too much going on offense. They've got a pretty good offensive line. Devontae Adams is something that Caleb says all the time.
Is Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones is.
I think
Aaron Jones has been injured. They have.
He's a good running back.
Is it AJ Dillon as well?
Yeah.
They have AJ Dillon. They've got a decent.
They have
decent
solid
running backs.
Their defense is better than it's been in a long time.
Their wide receivers have never been good other than Adams.
Yeah,
but Adams is obviously.
They've done a lot with shitty defenses in the past. I feel like their defense is more stout now than it's been in a while.
But I think as well, if you
they've had some.
If you take Aaron Rodgers off that team, they probably win 5 games.
If
they wouldn't win many more than 5 games.
How many games does Aaron Rodgers single-handedly win?
Exactly, and
But at the same time, how many games does Josh Allen single-handedly win the Bills?
I think
how many games does he take the entire game
this year?
Tom Brady, I love him as much as I do. Tom Brady doesn't do that. Tom Brady, like he performs well. He's clutch in certain situations, but not as often as like Josh Allen will literally put the team on his back and just
but that's what I'm saying. I think it's a bad take to say that Henry is more important than 10 of the.
Well, we will continue into our next.
Why don't we have picks for Cincinnati and Tennessee before we go further? What do you think?
Cincinnati.
I think I'm going with that too.
I like Burrow. I like Mixon. Yeah, the spread is 3.5 for in favor.
I'm fine to
the
take
Titans,
Cincinnati with the money line. I think Cincy could definitely win. They're red hot coming into the playoffs. Yeah. The Raiders aren't that good. They're okay. They're a solid team, but Cincinnati,
the Titans.
No, they just beat the Raiders.
They've
just beaten the Chiefs as well in week 17, I believe. They beat someone else. They beat the.
You're right.
No, they lost to the Browns, but that wasn't a game they had to have. I like Cincinnati going into Tennessee, but again, like you say, it's all about shutting down Henry.
Yeah, I think Joe Burrow just gets better and better.
I think so too.
Every game I see him play, he just gets better and better, and just his poise in the playoffs and in big games when it matters. Like I know he's very young in the league, he hasn't had a lot of those games, but like when he needs to perform,
you've definitely brought me You've brought me around to that way of thinking. I'm a Burrow fan now, but I think that team is just red hot. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go all the way. It's just, can they stop Henry?
Comes down to Henry.
Exactly.
Comes down to my boy Henry.
He could. I mean, Henry could go off for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Obviously,
he could. And then no one's winning that game.
Anytime,
no one's winning that game.
Nobody's stopping him. But before we start on the next game, the Bills Pats, I would like you to give our listeners a little So obviously you're English. Why do you like the Bills? Give us a little.
My dad is from Buffalo. We in the family we're all Bills fans. We've been dressed in Bills gear since we were little. And
English mother, American father.
That's it. And but no, my dad is a huge Bills fan, big NFL fan. If you end up watching this after I let you know about it, Dad, I love you. Thanks for tuning in whenever you do.
He'll see it at some point.
Great guy. But no, he got me and my brothers big into the Bills. It was really difficult for 20 years. For most of the time I knew about football, I got into the NFL when I was like 10.
I'm a Bucks fan.
Yeah, so you know about how shitty it can be. Yeah,
but I get the Bills.
But no, the Bills are good now. The Bills are really good, and they're primed to be good for as long as Allen is involved, as long as Allen is healthy.
They got to stop running him.
They
need to stop running.
But at the same time,
late in the season, big games, you need to win. I get it.
Exactly.
You
against KC, I'm fine with him running 15 times this weekend.
I just see them. They run him more than the running backs.
They do. I know he gets more rushing yards than the running
crazy.
Backs,
which is
Allen's stat line.
Great.
Allen's stat line is absolutely
it's great.
Absurd.
You're winning games. It's wonderful. But how long is Allen? You got him for what the contract was? 10 years? Was it?
It was 7 or 8 years.
10,
roughly, it was
260 million.
It was roughly 40 a year. So what's that?
What was it?
I don't know exactly what it was. Something like something between 250 and 280.
I thought I remembered it being like 260 or something.
A boatload of money either way. A Brinks truck either way.
But yeah, the Bills Pats game, the one that was another. Like I said, the Bengals Raiders game was like a good game. It was honest. It was closer than it was a reasonable game. Bills Pats absolute blowout. And I was the one. I was just honestly, I was talking more shit to him just because I wanted to see him sweat, but because the Pats also beat them in the regular season. But
I mean, in a game where neither quarterback had any impact.
Bill Belichick's worst playoff loss ever.
Second worst loss of all time.
Yeah, and
the only thing that stopped it from being his worst professional loss of all time was a garbage time touchdown that saved it from being his worst. And it was a complete game by the Bills.
Had they pulled the starters at that point? Were they?
No, the Bills were running up. Bills were running. Yeah, but they were running up. That was 20 years of beatdown from the Patriots to the Bills, and they were like, you know what, we're going to run this shit.
That was 30 years of animosity. That
exactly.
Was 4 lost Super Bowls.
Oh, you think 30 points is bad? How about 40? How about 40?
I get that.
We watched it together again. Yeah. We watched both the Saturday games together, and we'd had quite a lot to drink by that point.
Yeah,
I'd had a skinful.
We'd had a decent. I don't
remember
amount.
the second half.
We were drinking a little.
Don't remember the second half as much.
There was a little bit of alcohol involved in there, but another thing I want to bring up.
Well, real quick, let me ask: when you guys
get in there, Remy?
We didn't catch the second half. Is it like when we go to Goose and we're trying to kind of watch the football game, but we end up playing pool or darts, so we're not really paying?
No,
attention?
I was fully watching. I just don't remember any of it.
Well, we were fully watching, but also fully drunk.
Me and Dan were on our second bucket.
Once the Raiders Bengals game ended, we were pretty trash at that point. So we caught the game, we watched it, but our vision wasn't exactly what it usually is. It was a little bit of blurred.
My
vision,
cognizance was completely hampered at that point. Yeah.
No, I don't know if I could see straight at that point. But another thing is, I saw after the game, perfect game for the Bills.
Perfect game for the Bills. 7 drives, 7 touchdowns, 0 punts,
offense.
0 turnovers.
Yeah,
incredible. And even better than that, Allen 7 touchdowns. Wait, what was it? 7.
Was it 7 touchdowns?
It was 5 touchdowns, 4 incompletions. More touchdowns than incompletions. He's had some really good games for the Bills, but this was his greatest game against the ultimate enemy as well.
The touchdowns are amazing, and it was an amazing. But like the one thing to me, I don't know why this stands out to me. No punts. No field goals.
And you know what? We did the same.
How does that happen in an NFL game? And how do you allow that to happen?
Just
as the
complete
Patriots, a Belichick defense. Who prides himself on being a defensive guru mastermind. And let's be serious. History will tell you. I mean, anybody that argues that Bill Belichick's the greatest defensive mind in football.
Remember when I tried to do it on a Saturday? Saturday, I was trying to tell you that he wasn't. But I've
since you know how that goes.
But no, I think it's more of an ode to Allen than it is Allen and the Bills. You know, Allen and the Bills, rather than saying that the true litmus test comes this Sunday against the Chiefs.
I would agree, saying that it was more the Bills playing well than the Pats playing bad. I mean, the Pats did play bad. They did play horrible, but I think it was just an absolute throttling by the Bills. It was a masterclass by Allen. He did everything right.
The big play that sticks out to me was Mac Jones threw up a really, really nice pass. It was in the first quarter still, I think, and he's gone deep to the end zone, and Micah Hyde just broken on the
picked
ball.
It out of the
It's an incredible pick. Like, I didn't think he was as fast
Travesty,
as that.
He's not the Pro Bowl.
And Jordan Poyer too. Shout out to Jordan Poyer.
Both of them. Micah Hyde's a wildly
Micah Hyde is
good
very
safety,
good. That safety tandem is the best safety.
I was watching that highlight. He came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't even covering that wide receiver, and he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was a great play.
Hawked that ball.
And he's a transplant from cornerback. He played cornerback for the. He was good at cornerback for the Packers, and then he hit free agency, and the Bills drafted him.
I forgot it. That's where he played. I was trying to think where he played. Yeah, he played for there for a while.
We got him. Yeah, probably his whole rookie contract. He played there 5 years. Okay. Hit free agency. Bills sign him. He goes to.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
So we haven't actually discussed any of the producer signals yet at all. Basically, you guys got about 2 minutes till it hits 20, and then we can take a break if you want.
So we're gonna finish. We're gonna finish up with the Bills really quick.
In the last 2 minutes, Chiefs Bills.
Okay. Yeah. So give me what you think.
How is that game gonna go? I mean,
it's probably gonna be a track meet. It's gonna be a track meet.
Any other time, I would say Chiefs, just because I think their team's more well-rounded, and I think Patrick Mahomes is an absolute wizard. But the Chiefs have not looked like the Chiefs in weeks.
Yeah, all year.
The beginning of the season was bad. Like they were bad.
But to touch on that started in the Super Bowl when the Bucs beat them, and what's his name?
And it continued.
What's your defensive coordinator called? Is it Bowles?
Yeah.
Todd Bowles set up that. Is it I think it was the cover, either the cover 2 zone and make Mahomes run 15 to 20 plays each time to score. Give him 3 or 4 and hope that he makes one mistake.
We talked about this the other day. You're absolutely right. The defensive scheme in that game was wonderful, but every player other than Patrick Mahomes in that Super Bowl played terrible.
Yeah.
Like Patrick Mahomes did everything he could to win that Super Bowl, had a lot of really good plays, did everything. There were so many drops.
No, Mahomes is a great player.
Tyreek Hill
He's a
was
great
dropping
player.
the ball.
Yeah.
Kelsey was dropping the ball. The running backs weren't running well. They just did not. No part of that team played well other than Patrick Mahomes. If they'd have gotten together and they'd have gotten a team effort
Yeah.
in, it could have been better.
Before we go to break, give me your pick, Chiefs or Bills.
Bills, let me actually check what that
I think it's 2.5.
is.
It's 2. Casey's
right.
Bills get Buffalo are getting 2.
K-
But no,
KC
who wins the game?
2-5.
Who wins the game?
I'd say Bills. If I had to pick it, I'd say
this
Bills.
guy you've come
You're
a long
saying-
way, buddy.
Hey.
I'm gonna be picking the Bills. You've come a long way.
This
You've come a long
is
way.
subjective. I'm just,
Is it what? Wait, well, no. Give me your objective without me sitting here. Who do you think wins the game?
Bills.
Good for you.
I'd
You've
say
come a
Bills.
long way, and
I'd
you know
say
what?
Bills.
It's a scary
I'd
game,
say
man.
Bills,
It's a
but
scary game, but give me the Bills as well. Let's go, Buffalo.
We are going to
Give me the Bills as well.
We're going to, on that note, on Eddie's enthusiasm over the Bills, we're going to take a little break, and Remy's going to smoke a cigarette. We're going to have a little chill spot, and we will talk to you guys when we get back.
Perfect.
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Is This Football podcast?
Is this football?
Is this football?
We're still not sure. We're giving it our best go, but we're going to jump right back in with the Sunday games. A recurring theme of the weekend was I was pretty late. It won't be happening as much this weekend. I vowed to be off the sauce for the
Yeah,
coming
I've
weekend.
heard that before.
You have, but I'm making concerted efforts to be less wild this coming weekend.
We shall
I
see.
still have some pretty hot takes on the three Sunday games and the upcoming division.
Oh
games.
yeah, well trust me, I'm right there with you. I got plenty of hot takes.
Let's
on
get into
this.
Tampa and Philly.
Well, once again, we talked about it before in the last segment. A lot of blowouts, a lot of absolute
There were.
stompings.
But we both
on
agreed that I
teams.
think we both agreed that Philly was probably the least playoff caliber team out of the 6 that played this weekend.
Yeah, all of them. They had
Yeah.
no business being in the playoffs
For me
at
as
all.
well. For me as well.
And we'll talk about the expansion of the playoffs in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
but-
I don't. I mean, we both agree. I don't think Jalen Hurts is the best NFL quarterback. He's a great fantasy option because of his rushing yards, but in terms of actually winning football games,
Well, I was just telling you about, like, people love quarterbacks. They're just like, oh man, they're athletic, they can run, like they can do stuff, and it's like, well, yeah, but he can't throw the ball.
Yeah.
The whole game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we were talking about this earlier that it was an absolute incredible performance by the Bucs defensive line. They smothered him. They gave him very little time to pass, but every single ball I saw him throw, it was just an absolute travesty.
and their defensive line is really good, though. I mean, and if you're going to shut down, shut down Philly's running game,
it's possibly their best game of the season.
yeah.
Like,
And if you're going to shut down Philly's running game and put it on the arm of Jalen Hurts, they're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, they just, and I've talked to so many people. I'm like, yeah, he's okay. He was great at Alabama.
But it's a big
Everyone's
difference.
great at Alabama when
that's
when
it.
you play for Alabama in the SEC. But
When was the last good Alabama quarterback to come out?
Mac Jones.
Yeah, I don't know
I
about
knew you
that.
were
Yeah,
gonna
I don't
say
know about that. Well, I don't know.
Well, no,
I don't know if there's been a good one for a while. They're not a quarterback.
They don't need good quarterbacks.
That's it.
They have Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
They have Mark Ingram. They have.
Wait, Derrick Henry didn't go to Alabama. Did he?
Excuse me?
Did he?
Derrick Henry?
I did not know that.
Last I checked, he won the Heisman for Alabama.
Really? Okay, fair enough.
And
Fair enough.
unless
No, they have a history of
you're-
really good. They have got a history of really good skill position players.
You're making me think I'm crazy right now.
No, I could easily be wrong.
No, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, let's check that out.
Caleb's going to be roasting us in the, in the comments right now for this.
Let's check that out.
Derrick Henry.
Went to Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I told.
I
you
didn't
that.
know that. I didn't. My college
No.
knowledge isn't as good.
It's
But no, going into the weekend's game with the LA Rams, I'm not sure that's the best. I don't love that situation for Tampa.
Yeah.
Tampa's obviously got a fighting chance in any game with obviously having Brady, the greatest of all time. They've got fantastic trenches, but I think LA's.
You favor the Rams in that game.
I take the Rams.
Really?
I take the Rams, even just to win the game, regardless of the spread.
Yeah,
I mean,
regardless of the
obviously
spread.
Tampa's got a huge chance.
What? Do you really think Matt Stafford's there? That's
I think Matt
for
Stafford
me,
is
the biggest question.
like,
They've got a solid team. Is Matt Stafford ready to take a team deep into the playoffs? I think this is as far as he's ever been.
That's a good point
He's
as well.
never which, I mean, he's a good quarterback. I've been a huge
Yeah.
Matt Stafford fan for forever. People were like, "Oh, when he was on the Lions, they were like, "Oh, yeah, he's not that good. He just gets good stats." I'm like, "He's playing on the Lions."
I just think the Rams are loaded in
they
all
are.
their other
They are.
positions. They're
They
great
are
in the
out.
trenches. They got Aaron Donald. They got Robert Quinn
I
over
told
there.
Sonny Michel and Cam Akers
Yeah,
is an
Darrell
absolute.
Henderson will be coming
that's
back.
a devastating running back
It's a
combination.
true three-headed monster.
And
Their offensive line is good.
We were talking about in
Odell
the
Beckham had a good game.
We were
against,
talking about against the Eagles. The Tampa Bay defensive line is very good.
Odell Beckham had a good game.
Yeah,
Cooper Kupp.
yeah,
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp's best.
Cooper Kupp, Odell
best
Beckham.
wide receiver in the league.
And Odell Beckham is still incredibly talented.
He is, and they're starting to get him involved more, but I don't think he is what he was. I don't know.
No.
I don't know if it's him just like
His off the field stuff.
Yeah, his off the just not that he'd maybe not be putting enough effort into it, but I feel like when he was on the Giants, there was a couple of years there when he was, just
maybe a top three.
elite.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, arguably the number one.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
a couple of years
Yeah, yeah.
there, and then since he's played on the Giants, have you ever seen him play like that again?
No, but I think a
Have
lot
you
of
ever seen that? Like he's made some good. He's produced. He gets a couple touchdowns, but you remember the catches he used to make?
it's
for
that
the,
one,
for
the
the
one
Gi-
catch, the behind the head
That
catch.
wasn't
Yeah,
the
yeah.
only one.
No, no.
He
had
has
lot.
a
Yeah, yeah.
highlight reel.
Yeah, no, he does.
Of catches.
He does.
But I just feel like he's like. And
But the
we're-
Browns are also that's the graveyard of many
I
players.
was so surprised when he went there.
Yeah, I
He
mean
took
money
that
though.
trade.
Money talks.
Yeah, but to the Browns.
But that was but Landry and Beckham. That's a fantastic one too. But
I rate Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis Landry. I don't like him as a person.
I'm high. Yeah, well,
he
I
ended.
mean,
we're going to touch back on the
he
Bills really
is
quick.
an
He ended Aaron
incredibly-
Williams'
he's a
career
super
with a
under-
crackback.
ended up who's?
Aaron Williams, safety for the Bills, crackback block, like nearly broke his back,
Okay.
and then was talking
I-
shit. But we'll leave that alone.
Way
We'll
to
leave that
bring the
alone.
mood
Yeah.
down, Edward. Thank you very much. All right, we'll leave Jarvis Landry alone.
Yep.
I obviously like the Bucks. I don't know. I'm
You
sure.
take the Bucks.
I'm a lifelong Bucks fan. I have to take that, and I just only because I'm a lifelong Bucks fan, but I'm a lifelong Bucks pessimist. I'm always
Yeah.
the first.
No,
one to be,
you are, actually.
I am always the first person to. I love the Bucks more than anything in the world, but I'm the first person to be like, they're gonna fuck this up.
No, you are.
They
You are
love
definitely.
fucking. They won the Super Bowl last year, and I was absolutely stunned.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know how we did this.
More of a pessimist, even more than a realist,
Yeah.
because I think even realists, like I'm a
They're
Bucks.
good. They're good.
I'm
They're
a Bucks
very
realist.
good.
I had them as probably Super Bowl favorites for a long time until Green Bay really separated themselves from the NFC.
That's because obviously the best case scenario, we beat the Rams. We go play the Packers in Lambeau.
That's yeah,
So,
but then again,
which-
last year, you guys that was in Lambeau last year.
Once
Yeah.
again,
Yeah, yeah.
last year,
Yep.
I up until the last second of the actual Super Bowl,
You were sure they were gonna lose.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
gonna fuck this up.
And I feel
I
bad.
don't know why. I hate myself for it, but I'm just always just like.
I feel bad.
They're gonna do something to self implode and just kill themselves.
I
They
feel
do it all the
bad
time.
taking the Rams since you gave the Bills love going into KC, which is wild.
Oh, don't let.
But
that
I
play
think
into
I
your
just think
decision.
the Rams are loaded, man. I think the Rams are really
They're very good.
they
They're
got
very good
Jalen
team.
Ramsey. I'm not the biggest Jalen Ramsey fan, but he's obviously a very good cornerback. They're loaded on defense. They've got two fantastic wide receivers.
I would love to see how he does against
Evans?
against Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Like
He's a big guy. though. Jalen Ramsey is a big guy as well. Though
he's not that big.
He's long for a cornerback. He's like
He's-
he's 6'1".
Yeah, 6'1",
But
but
for a lot of
he's
cornerbacks
he's
are
a
5'10".
quick guy. He's like
Yeah.
he's
No, he's
got-
not big. He's
not.
not-
Huge. He's a quick guy. He's great, amazing in coverage.
Yeah.
he doesn't do a whole lot of run defense.
Yeah.
Doesn't
To me, the issue is the Rams passed the eye
Again-
test. The Rams passed the eye test for me in
Yeah,
a lot
they
of
do.
in a lot of areas, but I think
Stafford over Brady.
no, that's not what I'm saying. That's
No,
not what I'm
I
saying
know- I know
whatsoever.
you're not saying that
I'm saying the
specific,
LA Rams
yeah.
over the Tampa Bay Bucks, not Matt Stafford over Tom Brady. That's just
Brady's a
absurd.
wizard, man.
He is,
Brady
and that's
can't
why,
lose.
and that's why to me it's a true coin flip. But
Yeah.
betting wise, if I'm gonna get better than even
Yeah.
on the LA Rams, I'm interested in taking that and parlaying that with something else.
I see your argument. I'm not
Yeah.
even gonna lie. 'Cause
And that'd be a nice punt for the weekend. The Bills LA Rams double, both going on the road
Yeah.
into very, very, very dangerous teams. You're gonna get 3-1, 4-1. It could be worth 50. Could be worth 100.
no. It'll be a very interesting game. I think.
I know it will be really good. That's the game that
I think
other than
that
Bills
might
Chiefs,
be the
that's going to be the game that I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah,
I think
well,
you know what? All the games are great this weekend.
I'm a Bucks fan, but I'm looking forward to Bills Chiefs.
Yeah, that's going to be a trap meet, man.
because the Bucks Rams game is going to be good.
Yeah.
But that when I saw the Bills and Chiefs playing that night, I was like, that's going to be a
Sunday
war.
matinee as well.
I know.
It's
Well,
gonna
they
be fun.
would put that one.
Yeah.
on
I mean, it's and it's revenge for last year too. We all seen
Exactly. It's a
they
replay
beat
last year.
they beat us last year. They beat us pretty handily, but there's the picture of Stephon Diggs. KC are celebrating the AFC Championship, and Stephon Diggs is stood there watching. All the other Bills have gone inside.
Yeah.
Confetti's coming down.
That, and he's just
And
sitting there
yeah. So Bill's gonna be ready for
just
this
sitting
one.
there
Bill's gonna be ready for
stewing.
the whole. And we've been built in the offseason to try and just to try and beat KC. So we'll see how good they are. KC's a great team.
Yeah.
KC's a great team. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat us by 30, but I wouldn't be surprised if we won
30?
as well. I mean, listen, KC's a great team. You got to go into Arrowhead. It's going to be loud as fuck.
I mean, like I said, like the reason that I was hesitant to pick them over the Bills is because the KC is not what they were.
That's fair enough as
like,
well. But and that's-
KC 18 months ago was unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
Like leading like the year that the Bucks beat him in the Super Bowl, that season they were torching.
You'd be shocked
people.
if anyone beat
They were
them.
torching.
But
people.
this season, they lost. The second seed, they got beaten pretty.
That's what I'm saying.
It was a great game against Cincinnati, but they lost pretty handily to Cincy.
They started ass. They started terrible. I think Mahomes had like 10 interceptions in the first 4 games of the season,
And
They were
quite a
terrible.
few of them were bouncing off receivers' hands.
But I mean,
still,
those
yeah.
numbers at that point in the season, and then they got better. They slowly started to figure it out. But I never saw like any games that I ever watched. I never saw them get back to like full,
that
like,
peak.
Remember when they were operating when all their people were hitting?
So Remy's trying. Go ahead, Rem.
Message from Caleb. He says, "Wow,
Some-
Ramsey is a good cornerback." That came out of Eddie's mouth. That actually came out of Eddie's mouth.
so glad he said that.
I'm glad that
Thank
Caleb's
you,
put that
Caleb,
in
for your
because
input.
no, listen, I'm gonna say
I
it
like
because
the wow.
yeah, no, I'm gonna
There's
listen.
four O's in between.
Yeah, no, listen, and I've been known to be a huge hater of Ramsey Small because listen, I'm a Josh Allen fanboy. I will unabashedly say I'm a Josh Allen fanboy, and Ramsey tried to flex on Allen, and when Allen flexed over him when he hit the touchdown, I was like, you know what, Ramsey's terrible, but he's going to be top 5. He's going to be up there.
Ramsey's a shit talker.
Ramsey is a shit talker.
Ramsey is Antonio Brown at the cornerback position.
100%. That's
Like,
the perfect.
he is
that's
a
the perfect
he
analogy,
is a
to be
shit
honest.
talking just diva.
Yeah.
And I mean he's good. Like you can't no one can deny he's a quality player. Like he's
No,
not
he's
terrible. I don't rate him as high as Eddie.
Wait, Ramsey?
Yeah.
You rate Ramsey higher than me. I don't think Ramsey. I think Ramsey's a good cornerback.
Ramsey's is the best.
Ramsey is not. All right. I said that Ramsey's a decent cornerback, but I don't want my opinion to be attached to me forever.
right.
I don't like Jalen.
We
Ramsey.
will
He's a decent
erase
cornerback.
the Jalen.
Yeah, let's take that out. Let's take that out. We're gonna cut that out, Remy.
transcript.
We're cutting that out.
We'll forget the Ramsey
I'll mark
stuff.
it. I'll mark it.
Yeah.
Well, no. Now we're gonna move to what was it? KC Steelers.
The next game was Niners Cowboys,
Oh,
which was
yeah.
a great game. Arguably the best playoff game of Wildcard Weekend. I thought. For how close it was, and I would have probably taken 49ers going in. I mean,
Niners
listen,
Cowboys.
yeah, Niners Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
I would have taken. That's what I said.
Yeah,
Niners. Right?
I thought you said Steelers for some reason.
No, I would have taken the Niners maybe going in, but you know
Yeah.
what? Dallas's defense was the best defense in the NFL in the regular season.
Were
It
they
was the best
really?
defense. I don't know if it was
what
statistically it was
capacity?
the Bills, but to me the eye test. I think the Cowboys had the best. Micah Parsons is so. Micah
Okay,
Parsons
yeah.
is he's a rookie and he's a top 5, top 3
Micah
defensive
Parsons
player in
is
the
a
NFL.
wonderful
He's
linebacker.
incredible.
So is Devin White.
Devin White's
Like,
really good, but I don't.
He
think
doesn't
Devin,
make that defense be the best defense in the league. Their
Who,
defense.
Parsons. Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
I think if you take Parsons out of that defense, they
Yeah, but so
drop probably.
you just
5
said
to
the
7
Cowboys
places.
had the best defense in the league.
Like just from the eye test, statistically, the Bills were the best defense in the NFL.
That's what eye test. Yeah,
Like just looking at them, man, the amount of pressure
Yeah.
they get, the amount of picks they got. You got Trayvon Diggs back there, who is
You remember I told you how much I love Trayvon Diggs. What was the statistic you told me about Trayvon Diggs?
Trayvon Diggs has obviously got the most interceptions in the NFL, and he's a true pure gambler.
Wildly athletic.
He's also given up the most
athletic.
passing yards for any
Yes.
cornerback in the NFL, which is a crazy
Yes.
statistic.
When he told me that, I was
I know, it's
absolutely
nuts.
shocked
It's
because
nuts.
I'm high on Trayvon Diggs.
Same,
I'm
man.
all about him because
Yeah,
I don't watch a lot of Cowboys game. Admittedly, I'm not even gonna lie.
but if you're going to give up,
from what
let's
I've
say
seen,
let's say you give up 100 yards a game,
he's a
but
highlight reel.
He is.
All he does is pick six.
But if you're gonna and I think as a defensive coordinator, you might be happy to trade giving up 100 yards if you're going to pick the ball off twice. If you're gonna pick the ball off twice,
He doesn't get 2 picks a game. What are you talking about?
Listen, he had like 10, 11. I mean, he had like 10, 11 picks. If you're going to pick the ball off, more games than you're not.
Once a game, maybe. Once every.
I think
other
it's worth
game,
giving up a few yards. I don't. Yeah,
the most yards in the league.
I saw that was a crazy stat. I think it was going into week 17.
Are you sure?
It was going into week 17.
Of all cornerbacks in the league, he gave up the most yards.
I saw that it was going into week 17. But he definitely gave up a shitload of yards.
That's surprising.
Shitload of yards. Yeah. But no, I'm a huge Micah Parsons fan. They have DeMarcus Lawrence on the edge.
Yeah,
he's good. But but I think the Niners are better than a lot of people give them credit for.
I rate Jimmy Garoppolo
higher than
a lot of people do.
Because
he's not amazing.
And I feel like Caleb's going to get involved in this.
Oh,
as well.
no, Caleb's
I'm a big Garoppolo fan too.
I think me and you both had him right on like the cusp
around
of 10.
Around 10.
Like,
yeah, I got him close to the top 10 in the NFL.
10, 12, 11 kind of area.
The Patriots would be
much
better with Jimmy Garoppolo than they will be with Mac Jones. Much better. Much better.
Please don't talk about me. You don't want to hear what I think about Mac Jones.
I've heard about it all weekend, and then we saw how good he was.
Well, I mean, I would not, and we will revisit this podcast a year from now, and we will see how this quote has aged. I think Mac Jones is a quality quarterback, and he will be successful with the Patriots.
For the next 5 years, who will be more successful, Jimmy or Mac Jones? For the next 5 years.
Jimmy's in a much better situation with a much better team and a much.
Yeah. Well, let's just say
the organization.
If you're building a team for the next 5 years,
the Niners are good. The Niners have a lot of good players. They have a lot of good.
They're very well rounded.
They have the.
They remind me of the Rams.
They remind me of the LA
Rams.
The one of the best. Defensive ends in the league. They have one of the best tight ends in the league. Debo Samuel's is insane. All he does is get yards.
Oh, they've got a running back by committee. They have what's his name? They've got 2 or 3 running backs who touch the ball a few times. I forget their names though. But no, they're well rounded. They remind me of the LA Rams, but less talented. You know.
I mean, both of those teams to me are very.
Well, the NFC West was the best division in football by far.
I would agree with
by
that.
far. I think that's. I don't think many people would argue that.
Yeah.
Dan, I can hear that you're on your phone right now.
Really? I was looking something up.
Who their running backs?
Yeah, I was looking up who the running
backs. You know who they've got?
So does this need to be my job, right? I need to have Google open, and I need to be
That's
over
it. Yeah, just fact checking what we say. We could just be talking complete shit. Which we are, which we are for the most part. But no, you know who else they have?
Once I hear his name, I'll be like,
you know who else they have? Who's a complete and total animal is Fred Warner, the middle linebacker. He's like a young Ray Lewis.
Yeah, they have a good defense. Like
he's a train. If he meets you in the hole, it's going to be a train wreck.
Their defense is stout. They have a really solid defense.
Why don't we have some? Oh, so who they? San Fran is going into Green Bay.
San Fran and Green Bay. Which you have to take. You have to take Green Bay.
You have to. You do.
It's in Lambeau.
You do. Aaron Rodgers is
Aaron Rodgers, and he's Aaron Rodgers, and he's also white hot right now.
Yeah. Like,
he's
is
absolutely.
And it's going to be Lambeau. It's probably going to be 5 degrees.
He's been absolute throttling people all season.
And I would definitely take Green Bay.
I read it today. It said, according to the forecast, as of today, 0 degrees, 14 mile per hour winds.
So what's that, like minus 10 wind chill? Yeah. That'll be fun.
Well, I mean.
And a West Coast team going in there?
That's what I'm saying. A San Fran team.
Where did Jimmy Garoppolo go to school? Do we know?
In school, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just wondering if he was a Northeast guy or if he went to.
I feel like he's a California guy.
I do too. It's just the vibe.
I don't know why, but
I
feel like he's a California guy. But
what's the spread for that game?
The spread for that one.
Perkins says Jones is already better than Jimmy.
Wow. See, we need to get. What? I think Perkins says Mac Jones is already better than Jimmy, which is just a terrible take. I know he's a Jimmy hater. Yeah. Caleb is a Jimmy Garoppolo hater, but Jimmy Garoppolo's he's very rarely had like a bad season.
Yeah. I mean, he made it to the Super Bowl and barely lost
to
the Kansas City Chiefs. Remember how close remember how good the Chiefs were and how close that game was? That game was very, very close.
With Jimmy G at QB?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that.
The Chiefs won the year before the Bucs.
It was when we first met, I think.
And it was the Niners and the Chiefs, and Jimmy G got them to the Super Bowl and were winning most of the game.
Yeah, that's right.
They were winning the majority of the game.
Yeah. No, that's right. No, I'm a believer in Jimmy G. I think he's much better than Mac Jones. Go ahead. What's the spread for
5.5 for Green Bay.
5.5 for Green Bay? I'd be happy to have a. I wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco make it close, but I would also be very happy to have a significant amount of money on Green Bay covering that.
As good as I think the 49ers are, and I think they are very good right now, I don't even think they cover that.
Same. I'd be looking more towards 8.5.
I was just going to say if it was 9.
Yeah, if it's 9, I'd have a poke. Yeah.
Maybe, because, they'll be...
But I think 5.5 is value for Green Bay.
Is.
Taking 5.5 from Green Bay, I think is value there. I think they're just. I think they are.
That's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
they're far and away the best. Not the most
Bay
well-rounded,
right now.
but just Aaron
Are
Rodgers
we
is just
done?
white hot.
Or-
Remy's getting in the comments, I think.
oh,
We're going on
sorry.
to the. Let's go on to the next game, which was KC and Pittsburgh. KC Pittsburgh, which that was the game for me, which was least competitive. Least competitive.
I felt that it was very similar to the Tampa Bay Eagles game. It was a
Oh,
very
yeah, that's
good
true
team,
as well.
a very
Not
good
least
team
competitive.
against a very
bad team,
very
bad
terrible team.
Yeah.
And we all kind of knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I was surprised
Ben
it
is
wasn't
just washed.
Ben
is
he's
washed.
He's been washed for years.
Yeah,
he's old and
KC blew him out in it was like week 13, 14.
Yeah.
4 weeks or so before the end of the season. They blew him out.
You would you say first ballot Hall of Fame for Ben?
Absolutely.
I'd give
He's
it to
walking in, man.
Yeah.
Easily.
Well,
Easily.
he's
Look at his.
he's getting
But
it.
he
I
should be
was
first.
just
I think he should be as well, man. Like he should be first ballot Hall of Fame. Like think about it. He's got what two Super Bowls. He's got 2 rings. He's up there in stats.
Yeah.
He's even as much as his off the field antics suggest
that's
he's a
honestly
complete
not,
piece of shit.
That's not even what I was talking about. It was more just his decline over the last.
Oh yeah, but guys, but even
I feel like
he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I feel like his career is half and half.
He's a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Like the first half of his career was amazing, wonderful, best one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league, and then the last half of his career was just
he's
him.
a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
I mean he's
okay. I'll give you that.
The Steelers have fallen off quite badly, and Ben's fallen off tragically, but he's still got them to the playoffs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no shame in getting blown out by KC.
Yeah.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
We're gonna take a little break right now. Once again,
What
Remy
was-
needs to smoke his cigarettes. What's up?
The KC Bills that we already touched on that.
Yeah, no.
And that's
We
who they're
got
going
the
into.
Rams Cardinals when we guys come back, but y'all have a good one, and we'll see you soon.
And we'll be right back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is this football?
We're not too sure. Like I say, we've braved our way through the first 2 segments,
We're still
and we
figuring
appreciate
it
you
out.
guys taking your time through our first pilot. It's all going to be onwards and upwards from here.
Yeah.
Next week we're going to be we're going to be
leveling
adding
up.
some we're going to be adding some contests. Dan's going to be doing some trivia. I don't know if he'll have anything for
I
me.
might get naked.
Because
Because you guys can't see. You guys are seeing the computer screen. So it's
we'll
just, you won't see my
we'll
junk.
see it.
Let's do a
We-
big shout out
we
to
will
Let's
see
do a big
it,
shout out
Remy.
to
Yes,
Remy
we
Brechek
will.
as well while we're doing this for
I know.
setting everything up, having the equipment,
There you
taking
go.
his
Another
time,
shout to Rem
getting us
Dog.
ready. What a lovely guy.
You guys are too kind, but you know what? There's nothing else I'd rather be doing except for maybe. Well, never mind. I won't say that.
No.
Trying to keep it PG sports
I know what
related.
you mean. though. I got you.
Keeping
buddy.
it PG sports
I
related.
just
Wink,
I
wink.
do have one suggestion for the show overall.
Go for
We
it. big
gotta
guy.
bring more beer next time.
Yeah, we
That's
have.
just- we fucked up.
That
we have,
was,
yeah.
But you know what? I think that just goes as a testament to how focused we all were into
Yeah.
making this show a.
We
Yeah.
forgot the beer.
I
we
came straight
literally
from-
ran out of beer, and we were all just like, "How did we not bring more beer to this?"
I
thing?"
came straight
Like,
from work, and
That's usually the number one thing.
Dan and Remy were kind enough to provide me with beer and nicotine.
Yeah, I know. I'm ashamed to not have had more to give you.
No,
I
we
feel
have-
like
what a host.
I feel like a fucking failure.
We're gonna have more beer. We're gonna have more
Remy
beer. We're
brought
gonna
his own
have
beer. Thank God.
More
We'd have
beer
been really
contests. We're gonna have trivia. We're gonna be doing it.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. You guys
Yeah,
are
yeah.
doing an amazing job. I gotta say.
Thank you,
You
sir.
know,
Oh, love you, Rem Dog.
You know, as
love
a guy,
you, big
as a guy who loves producing podcasts and loves being a listener, an avid listener to all sorts of podcasts. Even though I don't know half the shit you guys are saying it really good. Like,
Thanks, Remy. Appreciate it,
Love
man.
you guys.
Thank you,
Appreciate
buddy.
you, man.
Jumping back in.
Yeah, jumping right back in. We kind of finished up basically all of it because we've already spoken about the the next postseason game coming from this game, but the Rams Cardinals. Just the last little touch on the NFL playoff weekend before we round it up. I just want to start out by saying Kyler Murray's not a good quarterback.
It's not
I'm sorry.
straight in.
I didn't want to sugarcoat it at all.
Listen, I was a big Kyler Murray fan, and
When?
I'm not
When?
jumping off the
When?
about 2 weeks ago, up until about 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
I've
ago?
been a big Kyler Murray fan. Listen, I like Kyler Murray a lot.
Lord.
He's had a bad couple of games. He's obviously shit the bed this week against the Rams.
Horrible loss.
I'd stick with him for another couple of years and see what happens.
Didn't we have him? I think you had him
I had him
over
around
Garoppolo.
10.
You had him. Did you
still-
not say you'd have him over Garoppolo?
I'd still have him over Garoppolo. I'd still have Kyler Murray over Garoppolo.
I don't like that take.
I
don't like that take. Garoppolo has a much better. He can throw from the pocket. He's a pocket passer. He can throw the ball. He's a thrower of the football.
Kyler Murray still has a lot of tools. He's still a matchup nightmare for defensive coordinators. I still like Murray. He's had a bad second half of the season, but that's been a microcosm of the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals had a great start.
They do have a good team.
They were 8-0.
I've always said they have a solid squad, and I mean, as much as I hate on him, Kyler Murray's not terrible.
No, he's not terrible, but I think he could still be very good. But
he is better than Baker Mayfield.
yeah, I think that goes without saying. Mayfield.
I will say that.
Well, Mayfield actually put in a
People still try
Mayfield
to
put in a trade request in the last week.
Surprising.
I don't know
Yeah.
where.
No
I mean,
way he wants
where
to
would
get out
he-
of Cleveland.
where-
Holy
yeah.
shit. No way. He's like, Odell, take me to the LA Rams for the love of God. Give me out of this
What a
bullshit.
shocker he wants to get out of Cleveland.
But I mean, like, people keep trying to sell me on Baker Mayfield. Oh, and it's the same thing because he's athletic.
I liked Mayfield coming out of I like Mayfield coming out of
He's
college.
got like a little bit of an arm, but
I like Mayfield coming out of college. He's continually let me down every time I've said that.
him and Kyler Murray both.
I would have taken
both
if-
Sooners.
Is it Oklahoma or Oklahoma State?
Oklahoma.
Yeah. So they're tied together through that. But if you'd have offered me Mayfield or Allen coming out of school, I would have taken Mayfield. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, yo. Well, listen. We were burnt by EJ Manuel. EJ Manuel
We
was
talked about
EJ
how
Manuel was
I'm
our
an
last,
FSU fan, so I know how bad EJ Manuel is.
he was our last big arm athletic quarterback who was not polished.
You
at all.
remember what I say? He was a shittier version of Vince Young.
Yeah,
He
and
was
I
a-
think that's such
he was a
that's
shitty
very,
Vince
very
Young,
Good, very
you
good
know?
comparison.
Like,
but no,
big, strong, athletic guy, can throw the ball a mile, can run a little bit, but just is not that good of a quarterback.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair enough. But no, going back to Murray, I'd still give him some time. Arizona has failed badly in the last few weeks.
We'll
We'll see. I mean, and then we've already touched on the Rams Bucks going into next week. I like the Rams. I don't think they're a lock whatsoever. I think the Bucks are a great team. There's every chance. I'd call it an exact coin flip.
No, I remember we were talking about that
Why don't
before.
we switch into a brief segment on Premier League football?
Premier League
That's
football.
how me and you became friends, really, wasn't it?
Is this football?
Yeah, see, we've got multiple.
Is this football?
It's time to flip the coin, boys.
We've got
What?
multiple football facets. How
Are we
about
talking
that?
about football or football?
Or football?
Football.
What are we
football.
talking about here?
We're going for a little bit of football. That was originally what became how we became friends. We've obviously worked together. The three of us worked together,
Yeah.
but
The Premier League, we were talking about it before. We both kind of agree. And once again, just to reiterate for our listeners, we are talking about English football, the soccer played in England for anybody that doesn't quite make
the
that
football
segment,
played in
but
England. We
The
can call
football,
it football.
is this football? That's
Yeah.
the
Is this soccer?
is the
Not that. But anyway, we're going to go to who City are going to win the
We
league.
both-
let's be candid. City are going to win the
We
league.
both agree that City have run away with this.
Yeah.
I think
Liverpool would have to win the next two games to be within 8 points, and they have the talent to probably win every single game left. But it's just City are so deep.
Yeah.
their
And-
second 11 would be top four, and I think that's inarguable.
yeah.
The
And-
second 11 might be the second best team in the Premier League.
They have two full teams of
Yeah.
the best team in the
without a
Premier
doubt.
League. But
Without a doubt, they're the
I
deepest
remember.
team I've
I don't
ever
know. I don't know if you remember. We might have been drunk, but
Probably.
in the very beginning of the season, I made the horrible shout.
Was it Chelsea? Was it Chelsea? I feel like it might have been Chelsea.
It was Chelsea. They had a really, really good start to the season. They won a bunch of games. They were in first place, and I was like, "Oh man!" And I hate Chelsea. I fucking hate Chelsea. But
They haven't got enough. They haven't got enough strength and depth.
Man
really,
United's
have they?
terrible. So I'm just like looking at other teams.
Let's do that really quick. Dan is a Manchester United fan.
Yes.
I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan.
Lifelong.
Both teams. United were very, very good for 25 years with Sir Alex Ferguson. They've still won stuff since. Spurs less so. Spurs have been bad for quite a while. I mean, they've had their pockets of success, but it hasn't equated in any silverware.
I've never seen a team in any sport in any league be more perpetually on the cusp
Then Spurs.
than because the Tottenham Hotspurs aren't bad. They've never been bad.
Yeah.
Ever.
I mean, they've been bad, but it's been 20 years.
They've been sixth in the Premier League for 25 years.
Yeah, well, 15 years. Well, it was Pochettino that really brought us up to the next level.
Even before you guys were.
I mean, we had Martignol.
Pochettino
and-
definitely took y'all to the next level, but
Yeah.
like you guys were always.
We were okay. I mean,
You
when
were
I first
dancing with the Europa
started
Cup.
becoming a Spurs fan, we were pretty bad. Like I'm talking 10th to 15th.
Is that Robbie Keane days? Is
That's
that
pre-Robbie Keane. It's pre-Robbie Keane.
That
Robbie Keane
might
was-
be before I'm
Robbie
familiar
Keane
with Tottenham.
traversed the terrible Tottenham teams
Yeah.
into the decent Tottenham teams.
he was there
He
from
was-
them
yeah.
being like okay to
You're
them
talking
being like
if you're talking
constantly
terrible
a contender.
Tottenham players. Massive credit to anyone watching that knows who any of these players are. Stefan Dalmat, Federico Tarico, Casey Keller in goal,
Oh, I remember
Freddie
Casey
Canute.
Keller.
You might know Freddie Canute.
You know I know Casey Keller. You know
Then you
why?
had Jermaine Defoe playing with Robbie Keane. Well, he's American, yeah. Keller
Jermaine
is,
Defoe is younger than Robbie Keane. He wouldn't.
but they
have been-
played together.
Yeah.
They-
Oh no.
but the-
I remember Jermaine Defoe played for the Red Bulls for a while in
the
New
problem-
York.
Yeah.
Came to America.
graveyard of- the graveyard of
everybody when
professional
they're done
football.
playing
The
in Europe
graveyard of
comes to
professional
America to play because
But no, I think Spurs have
It's a sub-league.
I think Spurs have a very, very solid chance at top 4 this year, actually, which is a absolutely outrageous thing to say following our abysmal starts to the season under Nuno Santo.
where right now would you rate Harry Kane? I think that for your team is the biggest question mark right now because because of you, I've watched more Tottenham in the last couple of years than I usually do. But like for me, that you have a good team, you got a solid squad, decent pieces. But Harry Kane on his day, best striker in the league.
I mean, 3 years ago, Kane was the best number 9 in the world.
That's what I'm saying.
2 years ago, I mean, 1 year ago he was.
2 years ago he was Robert Lewandowski, and he couldn't miss.
Yeah.
But he's had injuries. Obviously, he's had
injuries.
problems.
He's had the issues.
He's been out a lot. He's been in and out with injuries. But like, how do you feel about him going forward into the? You feel like he's the guy? Do you feel like he wanted to go? What was it? Real Madrid.
He wanted to go to City. It was City.
Oh, yeah.
City had multiple.
He's been
bids.
getting big money offers forever, though. I feel.
City had
Did
multiple-
Real Madrid not have a bid for him?
they never bid for him.
I thought that some big Spanish club had a bid for him. But
Kane really burnt his bridges with a lot of Spurs fans this summer.
He handled that like.
I did it horribly.
I don't mean to keep referencing him, but he
handled it horribly.
He handled it like Antonio Brown.
Yeah. Well, I mean, comparing the two
Because
of them,
I'm a Bucks fan, it's too close to heart. But
when you compare the two of them character-wise, they couldn't be any different.
No, yeah, you're right. Harry Kane's a lovely man.
Chalk and cheese.
He's a
Chalk
lovely
and
man,
cheese.
but what was the deal? He wanted to leave.
He wanted to go to City because he wanted to win something.
City wouldn't give him the money he wanted.
Levy,
or what?
No. Levy, who is Tottenham's chairman, is renowned for driving a hard bargain.
Wanted more.
I think he wanted 150, and City were willing to pay like.
And that's 150
million pounds.
Oh,
Is pounds even stronger? Yeah, so you're talking close to $200 million. Levy wouldn't
for
go
one
for that.
player.
Yeah, City wouldn't pay 150. Yeah. So basically,
that's an absurd price, though. As good as Harry,
I think he's worth every penny. I wanted
right now. How much is he
right
worth?
now? I take
right at this moment,
yeah.
right now. That's a 2-year-old investment.
His value.
He's
has
worth
dropped.
about $20 million right
His
now.
value. He's worth 20. Right. We'll definitely be cutting that out. Rem. Actually, no. Leave that in because that's the.
Please
what was the
leave
worst
that in.
take at the start of the show that you made? You made the very worst.
The Chelsea.
No, I think it was the Derrick
Chelsea
Henry
take.
thing.
No.
But Harry Kane being worth 20.
I still disagree.
Harry Kane.
We're not going to rehash the Derrick Henry.
We're
thing.
not going to
I
rehash
already
that till
think
next
what
week.
I think.
We're probably going to have a 10-minute Derrick Henry segment.
We can have
week.
an hour-long Derrick Henry segment if you want to. I will talk to you about how good Derrick Henry is for
Derrick
a fucking
Henry is
hour.
so good.
Derrick Henry is a fucking stallion.
He is. He's incredible.
He's a
physical specimen. He's a physical specimen.
He's not. He's like a linebacker and a safety he
Yeah,
mixed?
no, he is.
But he's a running back.
And he's also runs 25
He's
miles an hour.
fast as
Yeah.
shit, and he's huge.
Yeah.
Like he just bludgeons
Yeah,
people.
no, he is. He's incredible.
He tears defense.
But let's try and
Have you
get
ever
back-
seen him been tackled? I don't
Let's
think I've
try
ever
and
seen him been tackled.
when he
I don't think I've
when
had-
he sunned your man for the Bills. Your man,
Hyde.
the cornerback who
For the Bills,
he played for Josh Norman. Norman.
Oh God!
Yeah, last year.
I loved seeing that
Yeah.
so much because I
Norman
hate
got,
Josh
Norman
Norman.
got his lunch money taken.
Yeah, no, I honestly, I feel like if we look it up, Derrick, I've seen other.
Why don't we try and go back to English football?
Yeah, no, we can go back. But Derrick Henry's the best player in the league. We're just
have
gonna
a segment-
finish on that.
We'll
Derrick
have,
Henry's
a
the best player in the
mid-week,
league.
we'll have a mid-show segment in about 4 weeks that is just focused around Derrick Henry.
Yeah, we will revisit that. I promise.
I'll be revisited multiple
But
times.
so about how Man United is
Yeah, let's go to
the
United.
worst team in the Premier
That's
League.
obviously that's hyperbole.
Lifelong Manchester United fan. I love them. I've always loved them. With the amount of money that they
Yeah,
have,
that's the thing to me.
and the
The amount of money they
resources
spend,
and the
the amount of
team
money
that they
spent.
have a world class squad that nobody can
Look at
fucking
the poor
handle.
investment, man. Like,
Look at the poor coaching.
look at the poor investment. The poor coaching, but think about the investment
good
too.
play. Like you can't get Rashford and Pogba,
Maguire's
and
shit the bed.
Bruno Fernandes.
Pogba.
But okay, Maguire got England to the
didn't
world.
get them there.
He played a wonderfully.
He played well. Yeah.
He played
No, it's
incredible. He
coaching.
he
No, it's
helped
coaching.
get the for when we first got Maguire, he was outstanding. When he first came to Manchester United, he was a bulldog. Tore people up. He's had a bad 6 months. Terrible 6 months.
No, their
He's been
coaching.
horrible.
Their coaching is dreadful.
The coaching-
Their coaching is dreadful.
Ole
And
Gunnar-
Rangnick is arguably the worst so far. Like from results
it's
based.
It's been
results
so
results
it's
based.
been 2
Rangnick
weeks.
is. It's been probably 6 weeks, and they've
it's
had
been
some
6
they've
weeks.
had some shocking results.
Terrible results. Ollie wasn't getting much better. I think. Like once again, I didn't.
Well,
really,
they missed the boat on Conte. And that's
they
very
fucked that
important.
up.
If we're just going to mention Spurs and United now for now,
But
because
Ragnick is technically an interim manager.
he is.
He has a
Yeah, yeah.
6-month managerial
But your
contract,
worst-
and
your
then he
worst-
becomes a consultant. He's not. He didn't even get like a manager contract. They hired him while they look for somebody else.
Your worst
better.
result in the last 2 to 3 years was beating Spurs 3-0 because it meant you didn't get Conte. Conte wanted to, and they gave Ollie an extra 4 weeks, and Spurs jumped on it and got Conte, which I love that investment, but I think it just shows how rotten from the top Spurs are that Conte's already struggling. He's already threatening on walking out because he's not getting the investment, and it's the Spurs are rotting from the head down.
Yeah.
The fish is rotting from the head down. Daniel Levy is, and again, that's another situation, another issue we've both had with the ownership of both clubs. I think it's the Glazers who also own the Bucks.
The ownership is bad. I don't like him. But Ed Wood with Manchester United,
Ed
Ed
Wood, yeah, the
Woodward
director of
was the
football.
guy that was fucking everything up. He was making He was making the money decisions, not the football decisions. And he's been out for I think.
Yeah,
so
since
it's
the
been
Super League. It was the
it's
Super
been
League,
a
remember?
while. Yeah, the Super League thing
We were over
fucked
at
him.
the River.
He was one of the.
We were over
yeah.
at the River, and that was when we
Yeah,
found
he's
out,
been
wasn't
out for a while. Which when that happened, I was like, oh my god, we're coming up on a light patch.
it? Yeah.
But it just seemed to keep and like I've always been one of those people that's been like when a coach gets hired, you got to give them a certain amount of time, at least 2 years. And like a coach gets hired, you can't expect them to immediately have
absolutely
some type
not.
of crazy. And
Especially if they're hired
and if
mid-season.
they struggle, if you just fire them,
Especially if they're no, I think 3
You have
years. You
to-
should give them 3 years.
I'd say 2. Well, I
At
thought
least
that
2 full summer windows. 2 full summer windows.
Until Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah, when they gave
Ole
him what,
Gunnar
4
Solskjaer. Well, they
years,
gave him
or-
originally 18 months, and then they extended. I think he was there for like 3 years, 3.5 years. But
Let's do.
he was there about a year and a half longer than he should have been.
Let's-
I love him. He's a Man United legend. But
Let's do top 6 picks right now from 1 to 6, and let's also do the 3 that we've got going down because we're midway. We're over halfway. So give me City are going to win the league. We're both on board with that. City are going to win the league.
I'd easily City Liverpool.
So City and Liverpool, Chelsea third,
for I mean
Tottenham
third.
fourth. I've got Tottenham finishing 4th this year.
I mean, we even just talked about it. West Ham is playing incredibly. You not think
Yeah,
West Ham can keep? Well,
I don't think they've got
I've
the
rated West
strength and
Ham.
depth.
I've rated West Ham very highly for a long time.
I don't think
Like,
they've got the strength and depth. They've got some very good players. Mikel Antonio, Lanzini,
for the
Declan Rice,
last
Souček.
couple of years, they've been just sitting on that precipice of being like they've.
I think Spurs will get 4th.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's arguable. I'd say West. I wouldn't be surprised. And
Well, we've got 3 games in hand.
the only team that I hate worse than, I mean, equally to Liverpool as Arsenal.
Yeah,
I
hate
fucking
Arsenal.
hate.
Yeah, of course. I'm a big Spurs
You
fan, yeah.
you hate Arsenal worse than
Yeah.
I do. I know you do, but I fucking hate.
Yeah.
Like when I first started watching Manchester United, the early 2000s. Like
Yeah, well, that's when they had their Invincibles.
the Invincibles.
2001, I think.
Yeah, but then also at that same time, Manchester United was very good.
Yeah,
they both won.
Well,
like,
Wenger and Ferguson
and
were.
they were bitter rivals.
huge
bitter rivals. Vieira and Roy Keane.
So
I remember watching.
You've
those
got
years.
West Ham coming fourth over Spurs.
I mean,
over United?
they're fourth right now. Oh,
I've got West Ham coming seventh.
If
I've got West Ham coming seventh this
Manchester
year.
United at this point can get Europa League qualification,
Well, that's what I've got them.
would
I've got
be
West Ham coming
ecstatic.
seventh.
We're seventh right
I think United and Arsenal come fifth and sixth, and Spurs come fourth. And then give me three teams that are going down. I think. What about Newcastle? Newcastle have just had this huge Arab investment.
I don't know. Brentford have been okay, but
No, Brentford is staying up. Brentford is staying up.
You
They're
think Brentford
mid-table,
is
man.
staying
They're
up?
like 10 points clear right now. The four down at the bottom right now is Norwich, Newcastle, Burnley,
yeah.
Watford. And I think Newcastle.
Well, like Burnley has like 3 games
Yeah.
in hand. Like
but their team is pretty poor, man.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't know why they're bottom right now. I don't see Burnley going down. Newcastle. I don't know why. I think it would be
Hilarious.
ironic.
I want to see.
just the fact that they got all that shit and they got all that money and all they needed was to be somewhere mildly clear of the relegation zone to get some. If they'd have been top 10, they
That's
could-
one of the talking points of the season so far is them getting that investment and probably and a good chance of them going down.
I saw it was like 400.
It's not. Well, they're the wealthiest team in the
Yeah.
world right now by
Yeah.
a long way, and they're
Yeah.
going down to the championship.
It's
Anyway,
like,
we are
all
getting
that.
ready to wrap up. We're
Yeah.
getting ready to wrap up. We're going to touch on.
Is this football?
Yes.
Once again, we've been talking about
Is
a lot
this
of football.
football?
Is this football?
We're getting ready to wrap up. Big
I don't
thanks
really know.
to Remy for setting this up. Me and Dan
Yeah.
have enjoyed it
Yeah.
thoroughly.
Thank you guys. Great
Thanks for
job
your
today.
support. Thanks
Thank
for all
you,
the
everyone,
support.
for
It'll
joining
be better
us.
next week. This was the pilot.
Yeah.
And we appreciate
We're
you
gonna
going
work
through the
on
growing
it.
pains with us.
Make it better.
That's right. Yeah, and thank you guys all for listening out there. We really
Yes.
do appreciate it. Part of Tiger Cage Media.
Yes.
We're very glad to have these guys on board.
And
As
go
I
and
can
check
say
out.
that.
They call us the Brays. It's
Yeah,
an
yeah. So if you want to
outstanding
check out,
podcast.
I guess I'll go ahead and quick plug. Go to my show. You can catch Benson on 2 episodes
the
of my
mothership.
Yeah, it's where we started all this. Called They Call Us the Breeze. That's Bravo Romeo Echo Sierra. You can find it exactly where you find this podcast. And episode 8 and 18, Benson filled in for my dad. So make sure you check that out as well.
There you
but
go.
great job to you boys.
Get all
tonight.
that content.
Thank you, guys. And like I say, it's onwards and upwards from here. We
Oh, yeah.
appreciate
It'll
you
only
tuning
get
in.
better.
I guess I'll just have to go ahead and say it for you. Make sure you like the page, facebook.com/isthisfootball ?
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.
Love you guys.